What's up guys, it's Trevor with Embers Living. You know me, I love reviewing barbecues and I like to put them up against each other and do a side-by-side. Today we have a really cool one for you. This is a versus video. So we recently did a review on the Aspire by Hestan series, which I think was an awesome grill. So we're gonna review it. This is a question I've actually been getting a lot lately, so we thought we'd do a video on it. We're gonna review it versus the biggest, baddest barbecue, the bully on the block in our showroom, the sweetest barbecue in our whole store. It's big brother, the Hestan 42. Now this isn't a fair match. You already know which one I'm gonna like better. But what I am gonna do is break down the differences between the two so you at home can decide if it's worth justifying for the upgrade or not. Only you can decide that. Let's get started. All right, before we break these two barbecues down, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Helps us out a ton when you guys do that. Hit all the buttons, smash the thumbs up, do all the things. Helps us a lot. If you're in the Denver, Colorado area, come to our showroom, see these products for yourself. All right, we're gonna break these down. You can see we got the big dog sitting on a table because carts are back ordered right now, so we don't have a cart to put it in. But that's actually good. It's okay because what I can do is going to help me illustrate sort of the guts of this grill, and we can sort of show you some of the inside features on this barbecue. So it's actually going to be helpful that it's sitting on the table. Also, you can see this one looks a lot bigger. A couple reasons. One, it's sitting up on a table, so it's taller. But this is the 42-inch model. This is the 36-inch model. So that is a little bit deceiving. You can order this one in a 42-inch as well, and it'd be the same width as this guy. So that kind of helps break it down. All right, if you watch my video on the Aspire series, you know I was really impressed with it. And like I said, it's quote unquote their budget model. But the more I thought about it and the more I broke it down, this is the 36-inch model. Their budget model, put it in perspective, see we have this Lynx sitting over here. This is a whole nother video where we'll do a comparison. This is the Lynx Professional series that we cook on every day, and it's an awesome grill. You can see it's dirty. It's about the same footprint as the Aspire by Hestan, and this is their upgraded model. The budget model of the Hestan is on par with the Lynx Professional series, if you can figure that. So that should tell you something about the quality of the Hestan grills, which is really cool. All right, so the Hestan does have spring-assisted hood. You can see it does have open springs here, which we'll talk about in a minute. You can order, what's unique about the Aspire is you can order it with or without a rotisserie kit. Of course, the whole idea with ordering it without a rotisserie kit is that you're gonna save money. And then you have a standard warming rack, and again, that's to kind of keep the price down. Let's go through the cart real quick. Cart's pretty basic, doesn't have underlit lighting. The color swatches, if you do a color, is going to be just right here on your doors, and you can order the control panel in a bunch of different colors. What is kind of cool about the Aspire series is a handful of the colors are exclusive to Aspire only. So this one is available on both, but they have like a pink and another color that is only for Aspire, which is super cool. Then we have our standard cooking grates. You know, those are 3 or 4 stainless, of course. And then you can order it a couple different ways. These are their ceramic briquettes. Now what's cool, what's unique about Hestan is theirs are perfectly symmetrical, and these are no exception. Look at that. So you can always flip them over and have a clean side, because a dirty side, that's gonna create flare-ups, and that's no good when you're spending good money on a premium grill. If you're getting flare-ups, no thank you. We got our standard stainless steel U-shaped burners here, which you can go back in our video and watch how we ignited those and show you those. And you can order it with or without a sear station. So that's sort of their sear station there. This is just a very, very short overview of this grill. If you want a full-length review, check out our channel. We'll include the link below. Rotisserie motor is down here. If you wanted to mount that, that's just gonna mount externally on a bracket, just like that. What else? When you turn your lights on and off, it simultaneously controls your control panel and your interior lighting as well. Let's give you some measurements here. So from your cooking grates to your lights, you're about 9.5 inches. So you do have some good depth there, which is what I really liked. And again, it has a very similar footprint to like the Lynx Professional series. A lot of very similar features. Of course, the claim to fame with Lynx is they're all Trident burners. You guys know I absolutely love those things. Super awesome. So of course that's kind of exclusive to Lynx, but other than that, this has a very similar form factor to like a Lynx Professional series, and it's a similar price point to a Lynx Professional series as well. All right, so that's this grill in a nutshell. If you want more details, go back and watch my full-length video. All right, should we get to the big bad dog, right? Let's talk about it. Okay, so the cart's not pictured, but go back and watch our other video. We'll show you some pictures too. Their cart is different. So with their cart, the whole panels, the whole pieces of where the cart is, including the control panel, is all colored if you want it to be. So if you buy one of their colors, it's not just this little swatch, it's kind of the majority of the door frame. So that's a big difference. Also, everything's soft close and they light up. So your cart lights up underneath, which is super cool. All right, let's break this grill down. You can see the knobs and the control panel actually look very similar. We still have that exclusive handle. There's a huge difference in the hood. You can tell it has a similar form factor, but it's much taller. But check this out. So this thing has a counterbalance spring assisted system in it, and it stays put exactly where you put it. And you see these lights are motion censored. So once you hit here, the lights turn on. So they're gonna trigger themselves, which is super awesome, super cool. And you can see this spring is not visible here. What it is, it's actually a concealed spring. So here's our spring right here. So you don't even see it, which is nice because it's out of the way while you're cooking. So that's how the spring assisted hood system works. And then on our Aspire grill, our lights are right here. Not the case here. Our lights are actually in the hood system, which again is unique, and it allows us to do more here, which we'll talk about in a minute. Sticking with the hood, look at this thing. The side thickness of this hood is 1 inch thick. I mean, that thing is rock solid. On our Aspire, we're 1/2 inch. Well, we're 1/2 inch on the return, but it's really just like a thin piece of stainless. So big difference here. You can see just kind of a plain, simple side here. If you go look at the side on our Hestan grill, just a little more fit and finish. It's really slick looking though, super cool. Also, our hood extends all the way out to our control panel. Look at this. So I don't think that that's gonna make any difference in performance, but it's cool. I think it looks cool. All right, so big difference with our hood system. Now let's talk about some other major differences with this grill. The rotisserie is insane. It's probably the coolest rotisserie in a barbecue. So if you like rotisserie, this is the guy for you. Our rotisserie is actually in the roof of the grill, which I was talking about with our lighting system. And that's beneficial. If you go back and watch our video, we actually set some like pizza rolls or something here, and they almost like broiled. So the cheese on top like broiled. So you can you double. That's what's so cool is it turns it into so much more than a rotisserie. It actually doubled as like a broiler, which is really cool. What I'd like to try sometime is searing a steak on there, heating it from the top. So maybe we'll try that someday. And then of course our warming racks are adjustable. So see these brackets? We can adjust the height we want them sitting on, or when we're not using the warming rack, they just store up out of the way without actually having to remove them from the grill, which is really awesome. I like that feature a lot because you know the second you take these out of the grill, you're gonna lose them, right? Also, our rotisserie motor controls are right here. So we'll turn that on, now see it spinning, and I know you're saying, Trevor, where's the rotisserie motor at? Another big difference is this rotisserie motor is concealed within the grill. So it's essentially on this chain and you don't even see that motor. It's actually built into the grill head itself. which is super cool because just sleek and one less thing out of the way. And again, it's not like something you have to take off and store somewhere as well. Then our another big difference on the front is we can control our control panel lighting independently from the interior lighting. Because again, these are just motion. They're always on when the grill head is open. So you're always gonna have your lights on. You probably noticed too, let's just show you this. Big difference in our cooking grates. So if we come over here, look at that. So we have the laser cut etched cooking grates. So it's just gonna have more surface area. I think these flatter grates do a better job with sears. Sears? Was this a hardware store? Searing, I guess you'd say. So definitely the cooking grates are a nice upgrade. And they have two little handles here, which is kind of slick as well. All right, now let me show you. So here's the difference in the briquettes. This is what you get with the big dog, and this is what you get with the Aspire. Just eyeballing it, I wouldn't say that this is superior. It's just a different design. So I don't know if this is necessarily an upgrade because they're both symmetrical and reversible. So that's sort of the cooking grates for you. Now both grills do have the same hot surface ignition. So you can see if you hold your burners in, they're all gonna have a hot surface igniter, and the Aspire is no different. Now this way is the most popular way that we have it set up. Or I should say the most popular way that we sell it, is we sell it with, they call these trellis burners. So the term trellis comes from a vineyard. So like a trellis looks like this, and then the vines sort of wrap up around them. So this trellis burner is made of 321 stainless instead of 304 stainless. So that's an upgrade. So what that means is it's titanium infused in with the stainless steel. So it's like the most rust proof, even more than 304 stainless steel, which is cool. And I think these sort of cross burners promote more even heat. So I think you're gonna have even more even heat. That sounds so dumb. You're gonna have even heat, a superior amount of even heat. Let's say that. It's gonna be better. It's a better burner that performs better. And you can see the infrared burner's actually a little bit skinnier. I don't think that makes a huge performance difference between the two, but it is a little bit more narrow. I personally like that because I just kind of want a small little sear station for searing steaks and then have the rest of my grill for my regular cooking. One little thing I forgot to talk about here is our rotisserie spit rod stores away nice and convenient here as well. So that's pretty slick. That's pretty much the biggest difference is, oh, let's talk about our height within our grill. All right, I think we're at 9 inches in the other grill on our height. Look at that, almost a foot to the rotisserie motor. So we're getting like at least 2.5 more inches in vertical real estate, which is awesome. So it's just a bigger, beefier grill altogether. So $1 million question, is it worth the upgrade? Well, you know what I'm gonna say. Obviously this is a better grill. It's a cooler grill. It's gonna perform better. It's just awesome. Put it in perspective, pricing's changing all the time. If you bought this in a 36-inch grill head and this in a 36-inch grill head and kind of made them apples to apples in size, you're looking at, as of today, I don't like talking pricing in my videos because pricing changes all the time, and if you're watching this video a year after I make it, what I'm saying right now might be inaccurate. So people always get mad at me why I don't put pricing. Everything's on our website, and that's the most current spot for pricing. So if you want pricing, go to our website. A little side rant there. As of today, this is about a $2,800 upgrade. That's a chunk. I mean, you can buy a whole grill for $2,800. So that is a big chunk. But what I will say is most people, this is already a luxury grill. And so most people that are in this space as far as a price point, if they can already afford this grill, they can usually afford the big dog. So I would say just do it. You know you want to. Spring for the nicer one. No, here's what I say. Customers that buy the Aspire, Here's the reason they usually go with Aspire, is they need a bajillion components. So what do I mean by bajillion components? I mean storage drawers, refrigeration, side burners, power burners, you name it. They need a lot of components because they're doing a whole outdoor kitchen. Well, what happens is you can't sort of empty out the wallet on just the grill head and then not have any money for the rest of the components. That's a problem too. So what they'll do is they'll sort of stretch their dollar out a little bit further, get the Aspire with all the Aspire components, and then you can buy a ton of stuff. So if you're on a limited budget and you want multiple components, that might be a good reason to look for an Aspire. But if you're a serious gas griller and you just want the best grill on the planet, in my opinion, outside of maybe like a Kalamazoo, but that's more of like a multi-fuel, which we're trying to get our hands on, by the way, for a separate video. Outside of that, I think this is the best grill on the planet, gas grill. If you're that guy that says, I want the best thing in this category on the planet, this is what you want. I promise you. There's nothing better out there. It's the coolest barbecue in our whole showroom. I geek out over this thing all the time, and it's awesome. So there's my little rant. Only you can decide which one you want, but hopefully the breakdown of features between the two is going to help you make up your mind. Because sometimes people over-research and then they can't make a decision, then it sells out, and then they're out of luck. So don't let that happen to you. Use this as good research, hopefully to educate you on the differences. And again, I'm not going to say one way or the other. It's only up for you to decide because everybody's circumstances are different on what they need. Don't forget, if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, come to our showroom today. Stay tuned for more videos.